Last night, you closed your eyes and entered another world. You were being chased through a forest by something you couldn't see. You woke up with your heart pounding, and within minutes, the dream began to dissolve like mist. But the real question isn't what you were running from. The real question is why that same dream has been chasing humans for over 200,000 years. Your ancestors didn't just sleep, they journeyed. And the dreams they brought back from those journeys shaped the entire course of human history. Every temple ever built, every myth ever told, every god ever worshipped, they all started the same way. Someone fell asleep, someone dreamed. Let's go back. Not hundreds of years, not thousands. Let's go back 300,000 years. The world was dark. Not dark like your bedroom with the curtains drawn. Dark like a world where fire was the only light that had ever existed. Your ancestors huddled together in small groups, maybe 20 or 30 people, and when they slept in shifts. Someone always stayed awake, because the night was full of actual threats. Saber-toothed cats, rival bands, the cold. But inside their sleeping minds, something extraordinary was happening, something no other creature on Earth had ever experienced before. Human dreams are unique in the animal kingdom, and we know this because of a researcher named Dr. Matthew Wilson at MIT. He studied the brain activity of sleeping rats and found something remarkable. Rats dream about mazes they've run. Their brains literally replay the day's route while they sleep. But here's the twist. Rats only dream about what actually happened. Their dreams are a perfect recording. A playback button. Your brain does something completely different. When you dream, your brain doesn't just replay your day. It smashes it to pieces. It takes your argument with your boss and turns your boss into a giant talking lobster. It takes the street you walk down and floods it with water from a lake you saw 20 years ago. Your brain is not a recording device. Your brain is a remix engine. And this is not a bug. This is the most important feature evolution ever built. Dr. Antti Revonsuo, a cognitive neuroscientist from Finland, proposed something called the threat simulation theory. His idea was simple and terrifying. Dreams exist to keep you alive. Your ancestors who dreamed about being chased by predators practiced escaping predators. While they slept, every night became a training ground, and the ones who had the most vivid, terrifying threat dreams were the ones who reacted faster the next time a real predator appeared. They survived. They reproduced. They passed their nightmare-prone brains down to you. So the next time you wake up from a dream about falling, thank your ancestors. That dream might be the only reason you exist. But threat simulation is just the beginning. There is something even stranger buried inside human dreaming. Something that changed the architecture of human society forever. Your ancestors didn't just dream about running from predators. They dreamed about things that didn't exist at all. Half-human, half-lion creatures, flying spirits, talking trees, the dead, returning. This was not a flaw. This was the birth of everything. Imagine waking up in a Paleolithic camp. The fire is low. Everyone is shaken. Someone, maybe the elder, maybe a child, describes a dream they just had. In the dream, their dead mother spoke to them, told them where the antelope herd had gone, told them to move camp east. What do you do with that information? Your ancestors made a choice that would define the human species. They believed the dream. They followed it. And the psychologist Nicholas Humphrey at Cambridge argued that this moment, the moment humans decided dreams were real information from a hidden world, was the single most important turning point in the history of human consciousness. Because once you believe that dreams contain messages from the dead, you've just invented the soul. Once you believe the soul leaves the body during sleep and travels somewhere else, you've just invented the spirit world. And once you've invented the spirit world, you've just invented religion itself. Every cathedral in Europe was built by someone who believed in a world they could not see. And that belief started with a dream. The evidence for this is written all over the ancient world. The Aborigines of Australia speak of the dream time, not as mythology, but as the true reality from which the physical world emerged. Their ancestors dreamed the world into existence. Among the ancient Greeks, temples called Asclepieions were built as sleeping chambers where the sick would go to receive healing dreams from the god Asclepius. They would fast, pray, and then lie down on stone beds in the dark, waiting for a dream that would cure them. The Greek physician Galen claimed he only became a doctor because his father had a dream telling.
A dream changed the history of medical science. And then there's the Senoi people of Malaysia, studied extensively by anthropologist Kilton Stewart. The Senoi built their entire social structure around dreams. Every morning, the family gathered and discussed what everyone had dreamed the night before. Children were taught to confront the monsters in their dreams rather than run from them. Their society had virtually no violent conflict. Stewart called them the most psychologically healthy people on Earth. Whether his account was entirely accurate is debated, but the core insight remains. Dreams, when shared, become social glue. What happens when a society stops sharing its dreams? You live in a world that has forgotten how to dream together. You wake up, check your phone, and within seconds the day floods in. Emails, notifications, headlines. You never sit with your dream. You never tell it to anyone. Within 5 minutes of waking, most people have forgotten 90% of what they dreamed. Within 10 minutes, it's almost all gone. But your brain is still doing the work, every single night. You enter REM sleep roughly every 90 minutes. During REM, your brain paralyzes your body completely, a state called atonia, so you don't physically act out your dreams. Your eyes dart back and forth beneath your closed lids. Your brain burns as much energy as it does when you're awake. Something massive is happening inside you every night, and you barely notice. Dr. Rosalind Cartwright, one of the pioneers of sleep research, spent decades studying what dreams actually do for the waking mind. Her conclusion was blunt. Dreaming is not a luxury, it is a form of overnight therapy. People who are going through major life crises who dream about their situation recover psychologically. People who don't. Your brain is processing emotional trauma while you sleep, taking the sharp edges off your memories, filing them into the story of who you are. But your ancestors knew something about dreams that you have forgotten. They knew that dreams don't just heal individuals, they heal entire communities. When a hunter-gatherer band shared their dreams around the fire, they were doing something profound. They were synchronizing their inner worlds. They were building a shared reality out of private hallucinations. A person who tells their dream gives the group access to their mind. A person who listens to a dream receives information from a world that doesn't exist. And from that exchange, human culture was born. Music, art, storytelling. Every single one of these can be traced back to the dream. The oldest cave paintings in the world, at Chauvet in France, at Sulawesi in Indonesia, were painted deep inside caves where no one lived. These weren't decorations for someone's living room. These were painted in the dark by torchlight in places that were physically difficult to reach. Why would your ancestors do that? The anthropologist David Lewis Williams proposed an elegant answer. Those paintings were records of visions, trance states, shamanic journeys. They were dreams, rendered onto stone. The half-human, half-animal figures on those walls are not hunting guides. They are the inhabitants of a dream world that your ancestors considered just as real as the physical one. More real, even. Because the dream world was where the truth came from. The dream world was where the gods lived. You still live with this legacy today. You just don't recognize it. When you say, "I have a dream," not a sleeping dream, but a hope, a vision for your future, you are using language that has not changed in 50,000 years. Your ancestors did not distinguish between the dreams they had while sleeping and the visions they had while awake. Both were messages. Both were real. Both could change the direction of a life. And here is the part that should stop you cold. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined future and a memory of the past. The same neural circuits fire, the same regions light up on an fMRI. When you imagine yourself giving a speech, your brain encodes that imagination using the same machinery it uses to encode events that actually happen to you. This means that every dream you have ever had, every single one, is neurologically identical to a real experience. Your brain has lived thousands of lives you have no memory of. It has visited worlds that exist nowhere. It has spoken to people who never breathed, and every morning you wake up and forget almost all of it. What would change if you didn't? What would happen if tonight, before you went to sleep, you told yourself out loud that you wanted to remember, that you wanted to know where your mind goes when it is left alone in the dark? What if you kept a notebook by your bed and wrote down whatever was left in the morning? What if you told someone what you saw? Because the strangest thing about human dreams is not that they are bizarre, it's that they have always been bizarre. Every human who has ever lived has had the experience of waking up and thinking, what was that? The ancient Egyptians wondered it. The Greeks wondered it. The hunter-gatherers of the Paleolithic wondered it. And you wonder it too, for about 30 seconds, before the day sweeps it away and the dream is gone. But the dream is never really gone. It is the reason you believe in things you cannot prove. It is the reason a melody can make you cry. It is the reason you can imagine a future that does not yet exist and then work every day to build it. Your ancestors didn't just survive because they dreamed. They survived because they believed their dreams meant something, and they were right. Last night, you closed your eyes and entered another world. You were handed a message from a mind that has been dreaming for 300,000 years. You woke up and the dream began to dissolve.
But what if you didn't let it?